Butler County, Kansas. The parental parties to this case are Christina J. Gomez and Jason T. Christensen. It's Butler County case number 2020 DM 115. Beginning with petitioner, would counsel announce appearances for the record, please?
Christina Gomez appears via Zoom with her attorney Terry Bell, who appeared via Zoom in a different location.
May it please the court, the respondent Jason Christensen appears by and through counsel Taryn Folson, both appearing by Zoom from separate locations.
Very well. The matter comes before the court at this time for hearing on a motion by the petitioner to modify visitation rights in the case. It does appear that that motion at least was initially opposed. Counsel, have there been any agreements reached regarding the issues raised by the motion?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court has received exhibit packets from both parties in the case. Mr. Bell, this is a hearing that was set that involves limited time. I do want to kind of get right to the point here. I think you're alleging that things have changed with Christina's situation over the past several years, which should give this court occasion to modify the current parenting plan. Fair statement?
Yes.
All right. Where is your client currently residing?
She now moved to McPherson so that she can be closer. So she does have a residence. What
is this residence exactly?
Miss Gomez, what's your residence so you can tell everybody?
I have an apartment here in McPherson.
Is this a part of some sort of facility that you have this apartment?
No, I have an apartment. It's difficult to find housing in the McPherson area, but I've been here since October and I plan on staying for another year.
Okay. And I trust Mr. Christensen is aware of your address? Yes.
He's been inside here.
All right. Who lives there with you?
I live here by myself. My daughter stays with me on occasion. She's 17.
Okay. What type of sleeping arrangements do you have for the child involved in this case?
He will have his own room.
Why do you live in McPherson, Kansas, of all places?
To be near my son.
All right. And where does your son, where is the father's current residence?
In McPherson.
Okay. So you're both within the city of McPherson, Kansas?
Yes.
Okay.
I had been commuting for work to the Newton area and had been working in Newton for a year. And I now commute to Hutch 20 minutes for work. I work 12-hour shifts, but I've been here since October and I plan on staying.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a registered nurse.
Okay. Aren't you assigned to work weekends?
Every other weekend. So we have a rotating shift. This is my weekend work. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have Monday, Tuesday off. I work Wednesday, Thursday, and then I have a 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So you contemplate the parenting time that you're suggesting be on your non-work weekends, correct?
Correct.
All right. Do you have your own transportation?
Yes.
Your own car that is accessible to you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That is a basic factual summary. Ms. Folston, do you dispute any of the facts that have been stated by the petitioning party in this case?
Your Honor, I believe my client had previously told me that her apartment is a studio apartment. So we question whether or not there is in fact a separate sleeping accommodations for the minor child. But other than that, we don't dispute the rest of the factual statements.
It's a 1-bedroom, but I have a day bed in the living room, and that's where my daughter stays. So when Lucian is here for a weekend, he can have that room, and I will sleep on the day bed.
Okay, where does your daughter sleep then?
She won't. We have a couch here, but my daughter won't be here. Well, I can't say that because I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. She's 17, so she's very busy, but she will be here on occasion.
Okay, then to answer the question, then where does she sleep?
We have an air mattress, we have a couch, but she doesn't stay here full time. She's 17 years old.
Hmm.
But I have a room for Lucian. And I have a day bed here, and my daughter can stay on the day bed. I can stay on the couch. I have an air mattress if she does decide to stay over.
All right. All right, Ms. Wilson, I'm going to address you. This court made some modifying orders, I think, back in late 2020. Obviously, the child was very small back then.
Yes.
And the court's order was specifically couched as a temporary parenting plan, which that temporary plan has now been in effect for over 4 years.
Guys, today we are going to witness a heated custody clash. The court opens with tense introductions and a mother's fragile defense.
Christina Gomez has been apparently under Mr. Christensen's decision-making, having very limited parenting rights. Is there any reason why an every other weekend schedule shouldn't be adopted at this point?
Your Honor, my client still has concerns about the safety of the minor child while in the petitioner's care. Your Honor, he has been encouraging visitation between the minor child and the petitioner because he believes it is important for the mother-child relationship. In fact, there are multiple times, as shown by the calendars that we provide in our exhibits, that the petitioner gave no notice and would just show up at his house when she wanted to exercise parenting time. My client would allow it. Your Honor, we did submit some exhibits, including text messages about the petitioner wanting to have the minor child tested for STDs because he had a rash on his arms that he was seen by a doctor for, and it's molluscum. It's a viral infection that is common, and it is non-painful. He was treated for that. I did see in the petitioner's exhibits that pictures of that rash were submitted. Your Honor, one of the text messages that was submitted by my client includes a message from the petitioner that states that she wants to send the minor child to a gas chamber and twin sister to the crematorium. To my knowledge, there is no twin sister, so I'm not sure if she was under the influence at that time or why she would make those statements, but that is very concerning.
How long ago did she make those statements?
Your Honor, I believe that was in 2021. It was quite a while ago.
I really want to focus on 2025, Ms. Folston.
Understand, Your Honor.
Some historical context is always important, but let's talk about now.
Yes, Your Honor. So it appears that she has found a stable residence for the first time in several years. My client is a little concerned by her statement that she's going to move in a year. We don't know if that means she's going to move within McPherson or when. But Your Honor, at the end of the day, my client is just concerned that if she gets this visitation, she may try to abscond with the minor child, that she may not give the minor child back to him. So he still has these concerns. And the fact that she now has a residence doesn't necessarily resolve those concerns and frankly, the concerns that the courts had in 2020. I know the court is very familiar with this case and all the issues that the petitioner had when the court did end up awarding my client primary residential custody, granted on a temporary basis, but that has been in place for many years. And other than getting a residence, the petitioner has failed to show material change in circumstances or how her proposed parenting plan is in the best interest of the minor child. I think going from having supervised visitation for 1 hour a week to unsupervised visitation for overnights and several days at a time may be too big of a leap. And if the court is considering going to unsupervised visitation, perhaps we have some sort of phase into that so the minor child can adjust to the new plan.
All right, Mr. Bell, I'd like to address you at this point. I'm sure you have some things that you'd like to add to the discussion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think things have dramatically changed from when the court heard the original hearing. At that time, she was living in a safe house. Now she's stable. She's consistently worked as a nurse. I don't think there's any issues with absconding with a minor child. She's employed, and that's never been an issue anywhere that she was going to abscond with a minor child. Even at the original hearing, there was no issue of absconding with a minor child. Just she didn't show up for any of the hearings. So I think she has demonstrated that She's going to stay in McPherson. Whether or not she decides to stay another year, we'll have to address the issue at a later time. But at this time, she has a current residence or current employment, and the minor child knows her as mom and has had visitation with her for over 4 years. There's nothing that suggests that this minor child couldn't have alternating weekends with my client. There's nothing that would suggest absconding. There's nothing that would suggest that she's going to harm this child. Nothing along those lines. So I think it's a reasonable request and in the child's best interest. I note in the original order that the court was concerned to make sure that the father would have visitation, establish a good relationship with the minor child. In this case, that's what we're trying to do. And this would prevent father from getting phone calls about visitation, because the visitation schedule that was originally set up was never set up as a specific date and time. So it makes it very difficult on all parties when you don't have a date and time to schedule a visitation for the minor child. That creates uncertainty for this minor child, because my client might be available and then he might not be available. So how do you schedule it? This is a consistent schedule, stability for the child. There's no reason. I think it's a reasonable request and in the best interest of the minor child.
Recite into the record, Mr. Bell, as to what the structured parenting plan would be that you propose to this court.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd have alternating weekends. Let me get to the exact parenting plan. She would have alternating weekends from Friday at 5 until Sunday at 5, and any other time that they agreed to. I also included a holiday parenting schedule because there isn't one at this time. That Easter, mom would get even, dad would be odd. Mother's Day would always be with her. Father's Day would always be with him. The parents' birthdays, whichever one it was, child would be dad's, mom's, child would be mom. Child's birthday, we'd alternate with mom getting even years, dad getting odd years. Memorial Day weekend would be even and odd, even for mom. Labor Day weekends, even for mom, odd for dad. Halloween, odd for mom, even for dad. Thanksgiving, half and half. The parties would have to communicate as to how that would work. Same for Christmas, New Year's, and spring break.
Watch closely as the mother's lawyer counters with bold confidence. He unveils a structured plan, challenging fears with reason and detail.
And the 4th of July would be odd for mom and even for dad. I also included the provision that law enforcement shall assist in enforcing the parenting time, which would alleviate any issues that the respondent have in not returning the minor child. But I think the parties can somewhat work together. Obviously, they have worked together in the past to arrange visitation. So I think that this schedule would be in the best interest of the minor child.
All right, Ms. Folston.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, Your Honor, I believe that we need to essentially phase into this more extended parenting time between the child and mother. Your Honor, my client does still have these concerns. There was a time period in which the mother hit my client. I believe that was in 2024 in front of the minor child. There are ongoing concerns. I would note that in the hearing order from December 2020, it does specifically state that the court believes that otherwise the petitioner mother will abscond with the party's minor child and the respondent will not be able to have access to the minor child. One issue was that the mother went to a shelter and then police could not serve her. Police could not get the minor child. So even with the law enforcement provision, if mom goes to a shelter, that can become problematic again. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there any reason to believe now in 2025 that Ms. Gomez is going to have a need to go to a shelter?
Your Honor, I would hope that there's no need to go to a shelter, but my understanding is that there may not have been a need in the first place. Of course, I was not the attorney of record at that time. I'm looking at the court documents. To my knowledge, there should not be a reason, but my client does have concerns that she may still try to go.
His concerns are based on what? Because it happened before, so it may happen again. Is that all he has?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. The court doesn't always conduct business this way. The attorneys have done a good job arguing on behalf of their clients, but I did give Christina an opportunity to address the court personally. So I'm going to turn to Mr. Christensen. You've been represented well. I think I understand your arguments and your concerns, but is there anything that you personally would like to add to the discussion here?
The communication between Christine and I is unique. I stand back and I kind of let things happen because I'm walking on eggshells on her visits. All right. Because I don't know what her mental decision is going to be. In fact, I like her to call me before she comes over, so I get some kind of idea of her her situation, her whatever's going on with her on that particular day. I am very proud of Christina for getting her own place. She has kept a job as a nurse for a long time, but I think she bounces around to different nursing jobs, so to speak. She there's very seldom much help. She's not co-parenting, she counterparents. And I think this whole ordeal is about control more than anything else. And
well, Mr. Christensen, that's interesting that you say that, because haven't you had control for over 4 years now?
I have.
Haven't you been the one that's been telling her when she can see her son and when she can't?
I don't really tell her. I let her, because her schedule is so nights, days, weekends. I just kind of sit back and let it work. You know what I mean? I don't tell her when she can. I try to work with her as much as I can. In fact, there was a time when I used to go to Salina when she lived in Salina, and I would pick her up to come visit the boy for a Saturday, and that got too much for her because she decided to argue and be very mean, so to speak. And that's been a couple years ago, and I'm concerned about how things would go after. I'm sure a couple visits would go good, and then there would be a time where it ain't going to work out good. I'm trying not to say anything that I don't know, because I like to tell the truth. At the end of the day, I'm concerned for Lucian, period.
All right. After hearing from Mr. Christensen, Mr. Bell, anything further that you would like to present to the court?
No, I think the court has a good understanding of what's going on.
Ms. Folston?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. The court recalls that there was a time in this case where Ms. Gomez, I think very irrationally, tried to keep Mr. Christensen from his son. I don't like that kind of thing. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. Ms. Gomez, I would hope that there would never be an occasion where you would keep this boy away from his father.
No.
It is legitimate for the father to have concerns. Every parent that's separated has concerns about the other environment. They should have concerns about the other environment. They would want their child's welfare to be first and foremost in their mind, and anything that might be contrary to that, they should be concerned about. But Ms. Gomez, Mr. Christensen has had primary residential custody for a period of time. You've apparently improved the stability of your own living situation by having your own place and apparently a quite responsible job that you have. It's time to see, in this court's view, if you are up to what you're asking for. Can you handle this boy for a 2-day period?
Yes.
Well, I understand you're telling me that, But the question is really kind of rhetorical. Can you do it or not? Can you show us that he is just as well off at your place for 2 days as he is at Mr. Christensen's the rest of the time?
Yes,
Well,
he will know what to expect. I know what to expect, and he's not disappointed, and I'm not disappointed.
can
And
you also communicate appropriately with the father about any concerns that you might have or might arise during your parenting time?
yes.
And how do you two communicate with one another?
So we have a cell phone, and for a while I had a separate phone for Jason. I have a T-Mobile that I use for family and friends, and I now have a Cox phone for work.
Okay, all right. So I really, my question wasn't phrased very well. Can you talk to him on the phone? Have
Yes. And
telephone
Lucian will always
conversations?
have access to my phone to get a hold of his father if he wants to talk to his father.
All right.
Now the father steps in, voicing raw fears and doubts before the judge. His testimony reveals fragile trust and deep concern for his child's safety.
The court finds that the proposed parenting plan is not unreasonable. It does appear to be currently consistent with the best interest of the child to have an expanded access period with his mother. He needs to have both his mother and his father involved in his life, but he needs to have two cooperative, stable parents on each side of this case. And it'll be up to Mr. Christensen and Ms. Gomez to make sure that he always sees that you two are at least working together for his welfare. I think there should be some consistency here. Mr. Christensen, I'm sure, has established a routine for this boy. He's what, 5 now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So he probably has established routines regarding when he eats his meals, when he goes to bed, and things like that. And I would think that whatever he's used to at father's house should be strongly considered to also be the plan at mother's house.
Yes.
He shouldn't have things dramatically different as far as schedule or otherwise, discipline or anything else at your house as compared to his dad's. But the court's going to implement the schedule as suggested regarding weekends. However, at this time, the court is hesitant to add a detailed holiday schedule. I think first we need to attempt a weekend schedule before we broaden holiday weekends, split up holidays, and everything else. Mr. Christensen, I would just simply ask you that if Christina wants holiday visitation time, that you try to work it out with her.
Absolutely.
There's no reason that Lucian should be denied having Christmas with each parent. Thanksgiving can also be divided with you living in the same town very workably. The Mother's and Father's Day thing, I don't know how that's going to fall regarding Christina's weekend, but perhaps some additional visitation might be appropriate on Mother's Day or on the child's birthday. And I think that there needs to be some spirit of cooperation. But with that said, some structure in place, and the every other weekend is the structure which the court is going to specifically order. So, Christina, when would this start? What is the weekend that you have off next?
So I am scheduled to work this weekend. It would be the following weekend.
All right. And that's, okay. Let's identify that date. So,
Looks like the 27th and 28th, sir.
That would be correct.
all right. Court will begin the mother's parenting time periods on the every other weekend basis, June 27 and 28 of the year 2025. Every other weekend thereafter until further order of the court. Nothing about this order precludes other parenting time that the parties may agree upon. And again, the court is encouraging specific sharing of time on holidays. Mr. Bell, I'm going to task you with drafting an appropriate journal entry modifying parenting time,
Thank you, Your Honor.
consistent with the court's orders made here today. I do want to admonish Christina about one thing. If you have a structured schedule that the court has ordered where There's supposed to be an every other weekend routine. You have to make sure that those weekend visits take place. You can't blow them off or make Lucian think that he's not a priority to you. And I do understand there may be some extraordinary work circumstances that come up, but it's very important that once we set this routine, that you stick to it.
Yes. I
Furthermore,
would like to have him more than, that every other weekend throughout the week. But as of right now, with me working 12-hour shifts, to propose that I have the same rotating schedule, but every other weekend. So
well,
if he
that's a
knows
very
what,
responsible position to take, and I understand that you'd want more time than the weekend structure. But that is a responsible way to look at things. Further, Mr. Bell, if you'll include in the order that this parenting plan, which the court has ordered today, is specifically dependent on the mother retaining a suitable residence within McPherson, Kansas. The close proximity of the parties at this point is a factor in the court's decision. Dad's not very far away, and the child's obviously very familiar with McPherson. So if she moves away, especially any considerable distance, this court very well may take a different look at this parenting order.
We'll include that.
So you can move, Christina, but it has to be within McPherson.
so I would have been in McPherson sooner, but it was very difficult to find housing inside this area. It's a small community. I do have a good rapport with the landlord and my neighbors.
Well,
So
good. I'm just saying that if you move, it has to be in town.
okay.
All right. All right. Mr. Bell, do you need any further clarification regarding the court's orders at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Falston, is there anything further from your perspective that the court currently needs to address?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. All right. Good luck to the parents in this case. Ultimately, what we're all just interested in is this boy growing up as just normally as he possibly can, with proper involvement and structure with both parents. So good luck in that regard in co-parenting in his best interests.
Thank you.
If there's nothing further at this time, then this matter is currently in recess and the meeting may be ended for all at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The judge delivers a decisive ruling that could change everything ahead. Balance, warning, and hope. This verdict seals the fate of both parents. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.